Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Kelshei, and welcome back to Freya's Forge. If you're new here, I certainly welcome you and appreciate you stopping by, and I do hope that you get something out of your visit today. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I like people who come back, and they have obviously liked something that I've had to say, so they're back for some more. Today's video is a very personal video for me. We're going to call this a vlog, but anyway, I'm still kind of playing with the notion of what a vlog is, but that's what we'll call it for today. But today's video is all about the imposter syndrome and your inner mean girl. So if you're interested in having that kind of chat with me, stick around. So welcome back. If you stuck around past the intro, you are interested in hearing a conversation or participating in a conversation without being able to actually participate with regards to the imposter syndrome and your inner mean girl. So like I said in the intro, this is a really personal video for me because it's something that I have been struggling with for a little while. Long while, actually, to be perfectly honest with y'all. So I just wanted to kind of come on here and chat a little bit about what that is and kind of how I'm handling it, in so much as I'm handling it. Okay. So for the folks that are brand new, you may not be aware of this. For the returning folks, I'm going to repeat some stuff, so just go get your cup of coffee. But I am an initiated Wiccan High Priestess. I say that a lot in my intros to my videos. And when I say that, I literally mean it. I have gone through a training program where I have earned a first degree, a second degree, and a third degree in Wicca. Okay, so I have the paperwork to back up the fact that I'm talking to you all. I have also been practicing over half my life. I started out sort of practicing with my dad as my teacher, and we did basic stuff, starting when I was about 13 years old. So I've been practicing a hella long time, okay? So for a long time, I was solitary. Then I met Seraphel, and we were kind of solitary together because we didn't have a group. He had come out of a bad experience with a group, so he was kind of gun shy a little bit. Excuse me. And then we attended our first pagan gathering, and we attended Witchstock 1996, aka Wetstock, because it rained a lot. Some of my viewers may be familiar with that particular pagan gathering, but that was our first kind of exposure, well, my first exposure to other pagans in a large group. He had had some experience because he was part of a group, but after that, because of some of the stuff that happened at the gathering, the people I met, etc., I got the urge to start seeking out a teacher because I felt like I had learned what I could learn on my own and didn't want to end up injuring myself energetically. So I sought out a teacher and ended up with a teacher who I stuck with. Sometimes you'll go to your first degree, decide that how your teacher taught is maybe not exactly conducive to how you learn, and you'll change teachers. Well, I stuck with the same teacher all 3 degrees. This is not an easy program, my friends. There is a lot of it was a very academic based program. We read a lot of books. We did a lot of papers. We did a lot of practical stuff. But anyway, so if you need me to rattle off my lineage, I can rattle it off. And I am like 5 steps away from Gerald Gardner, who, if you're familiar with it at all, you know who Gerald Gardner is, but he's one of the founders of Wicca. Okay. So having a lineage that puts me that close to one of the founders of Wicca means I really kind of know my stuff, at least on paper, right? So sometimes I forget that, and I need some of my besties to remind me, like they did this morning. So thank you all if you're watching. I appreciate everything that you did for me this morning to kind of help screw my head back on straight, because it gets a little off kilter. So the imposter syndrome is that how I have kind of experienced it is in the larger pagan community, going out into the world. You know, they find out. I usually don't say it because, you know, whatever, but I'm introduced to somebody as Lady Kelshei because I have a 3rd degree. All of a sudden, my pedestal gets jumped up a little bit, and I have to pretend in my mind that I know what I'm talking about. So part of my discomfort, I guess, being here on YouTube and talking about all of this is that I still suffer from imposter syndrome. I've had my 3rd degree a while now. I need to look at the date. Okay, so my certificate, which is suitable for framing, but I have it in a sheet protector in my notebook here, says that I took my 3rd degree on the 5th day of February in 2005. So whatever that math turns out to be, that's when I took my 3rd degree. So it's been almost 20 years. Holy hell. Okay, so I've had this 3rd degree for all this time. I haven't been sitting around doing nothing in that intervening time. I have been doing workshops and doing YouTube videos and reading and researching and, you know, really delving into topics that I may not have had a chance to. So it's not like I took my 3rd degree and then stopped. You know, we don't really have continuing ed requirements in Wicca, although I might have to start lobbying for that, because some people do. They take their 3rd or they take their 2nd or they take whatever degree and then they stop. They're like, oh no, I'm good. But so I have this degree, I have this knowledge. I'm also a librarian by training, so I know how to research, and I do a fair amount of research. I write in my journal a lot, as you all know. So I got it. Now I need to own it. I need to own the fact that I know what the hell I'm talking about. I need to own the fact that I have knowledge and I have a voice and I got stuff other people might need to hear or want to hear. But that doesn't stop that imposter syndrome from sneaking in, my friends. It is really kind of insidious, and it comes with the voice of my inner mean girl. Okay, so who is that? I heard that phrase coined by Jill Angie. I've talked about her a fair amount on the channel, I think, who does the Not Your Average Runner podcast. She has a website, all that stuff. But she talks about your inner mean girl. And so that's where I got the phrase from. I always like to give credit where credit's due if I can. And sometimes that bitch is really loud, and she covers up the smart, nice girl that's in your head. Or if you're a dude out there, you know, your inner mean dude, you know, whatever the voice is in your head of the gender with which you identify and is mean to you, that's who we're talking about. Her listeners are typically me, midlife, plus sized, that sort of stuff. So she talks about the inner mean girl. Anyway, your inner mean person. Well, whoever's mean to you in your head, that's who we're talking about here. And so I had a day the other day, got my journal right out here in front of me, so I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was on Thursday, January the 6th. Today is January the 10th, if we're keeping track, when I'm filming. And it was just, I don't know if it was because it was the first anniversary of the riot at the Capitol, and there was a lot of really crappy energy going on in the ether. Or if because of some personal reasons, the first week of January just literally sucks ass for me. I'm not really sure. But that day, I was having a really hard time with my inner mean girl being mean to me. Okay. So we've talked about on the channel, I'm training for a full marathon. I'm doing trying to get YouTube going. I'm trying to get my novel written, book, novel or book, depending on if it's fiction or nonfiction, getting my art out to the wider universe, all the things, we've talked about all that. So you guys know I'm proud of this. I'm proud of the content that I produce for you all. I am proud of the writing that I do and the art that I do, and I am proud of this stuff. I'm excited to be working towards a full marathon. It's a goal that I have wanted to do for a while, and yes, there will be a video on that. But she was just really being mean, okay? What I was hearing was, you're too fat to run a marathon. You're too slow to run a marathon. What else did she say to me that day? I wrote it, too slow. I don't have the mental fortitude. So I was hearing all of this in my head. All of this imposter syndrome was rearing up because, I've talked about how I'm going to, I've made the intention, set the intention that I'm going to do a full marathon. And what if I fail? Oh my gosh. I've put it out there to like 12 people because there's not many subscribers to the channel yet. But, I put it out to the universe that I'm going to do this full marathon live or virtually in 2022. What if I fail? What if I get out there and I find out I can't do it? BFD. Okay? So, here I have said, I'm a runner and I'm a priestess and I'm a teacher and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I get dislikes on videos, and I don't really pay too much attention. So if you're one of those people, and I'm talking to anyone out there who's watching this video and then is tempted to click dislike or a thumbs down on the video, if you don't like the video, that's okay. I know that I am not everyone's cuppa. It's okay. But if there is a reason that you don't like what I'm putting out there, let me know. Drop me a comment and say, I didn't like the video because I couldn't hear you. Or I didn't like the video because the camera was out of focus. Or I didn't like the video because whatever. But tell me why you don't like it. And then maybe the next video that I do will be one that you do like. Because I do pay attention to what y'all write in the comments. Few though they may be right now. But getting a dislike on a video, kind of when I was in that mental state, it was like, oh crap, why am I even bothering? Why have I sat down in front of a camera and tried to share my knowledge with these people because they don't care. They don't like it. They're not getting anything out of it. So it was really kind of a rough couple of days, to be honest. And so, what do I do about that when it happens? Okay, so I don't try to, or more accurately, I try to give you all practical advice on how to handle certain situations, especially if they're metaphysical or whatever. I am not a trained mental health professional. So if you are having serious mental health issues, I'm not where you need to come. I can give you pastoral counseling, but I am not a mental health professional. So if you're having issues, please, my beautiful friend, go get some help. Okay, if that is available to you, please get help from a licensed professional because I ain't it. I am working on life coaching certification, but that's not the same thing as a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, etc. Okay? So, all that being said, what I did to combat the inner mean person was sit down with my journal and write me a list. It's not encompassing, it's not every single thing that I have accomplished in my whole life. But I sat down and I wrote down a list of things that I have accomplished so I could mentally look at my inner mean girl and go, neener, neener, neener. Okay, I'm all about the neener, neener. All right. So, am I fat? Yeah, I'll own that. Am I slow? Yeah, I'll own that. Does that mean I'm not going to finish a marathon? Heck no. I might be slow. It might take me longer. It might be harder on my body because I am overweight, but I'm still going to finish it, even if it takes me 8 hours. Okay. So I sat down and did me a list of accomplishments, and this might sound like humble bragging, but I'm going to read them out to y'all because this is a video mostly done for me, but I'm hoping you'll get something out of it too. So these are things that I've accomplished in my life. This is not for me to be saying that if you have not accomplished these things that you're less than me. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is encouraging you to make your own list of accomplishments that are going to be very different, but maybe similar to the one that I've written. Because I want you to really think about the cool stuff that you have done that you can then turn to your inner mean person and go, neener, neener. Okay? So, I have graduated high school. I earned an Associate of Arts degree and graduated magna cum laude, which means I had a 3.8 GPA or higher. I didn't quite get to summa cum laude, which was a 4.0. I earned a Bachelor of Arts degree. My GPA was a little bit lower then, lots of stuff. Anyway, I've earned a Master of Science degree with a GPA of 3.8 or higher. I am still married to my first spouse. I don't know how that happened because, yeah, it's like we've been married forever, it feels like. But I'm still married to the first person I married. It's great. I own a home. I bought a car on my own and will have it paid off no later than next year, which is pretty exciting. I have completed six, however, whatever's backwards, but 6 half marathons. I have completed 2 10Ks, which is 6.2 miles for those of you who are metrically challenged. I've completed 3 8Ks, which is 5 miles. I've completed so many 5Ks, 3.1 miles, I have lost count. I have started now 2 YouTube channels, and my subscriber count is growing on both. And I have sold art to someone I don't know more than once. More than once. And I have earned a first, a second, and a third Wiccan degree. So, those are by no means the entirety of my accomplishments. But those were the ones that I could pull very quickly out of my brain to be able to say neener neener to my inner mean girl because she was being what she is. So one of the things that I want to do, and I have talked with someone that I know that has a Cricut, because I've used a Cricut. I am not an expert on Cricut, so I'm going to throw a little bit of some pennies at someone so they'll do it for me. But I'm going to have a t-shirt made for my full marathon that says my inner mean girl is a liar, because I'm going to prove to her that she is. Okay. So all of that being said, we all suffer from imposter syndrome, where we have credentials that sometimes it's difficult for us to follow through with. That aforementioned Master of Science degree, having that degree and being in the position that I was prior to my participation in the Great Resignation of 2021, I felt a very strong sense of imposter syndrome in that job. And that is part of, not the entirety, but part of why I am no longer in that job. Because I was not feeling authentic there. And sometimes the imposter syndrome isn't really that you're not in a position where you should be, because sometimes that's how it comes across. You have particular training and you're in the particular job, but you feel like you're a big old faker who's a faker. The imposter syndrome is also your inner being, your higher self saying, this is not truly who you are. So while the imposter syndrome, when it comes to me delivering content on YouTube about paganism and Wicca and etc., and doing pick a card readings and all of that, where I'm like, am I really qualified to do this? Well, the answer to that question is hell yes. I am definitely qualified to teach all of this content. And I'm going to continue to do so, mostly to tell my inner mean girl, neener neener, yes, I'm qualified to teach this content. But that imposter syndrome can also get triggered when you're in a position that is not to the betterment of your higher self. For example, my previous position, the job that I just left, was not authentically who and what I am supposed to be doing. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and I'm not even going to go into them here. But the imposter syndrome got triggered because that was where I needed to not be anymore. I did it for as long as I did it because the salary was good, not gonna lie. I was enjoying parts of the work, but there were parts of it that were trying to make me into somebody, into something and somebody that I am not. And so I had to leave that position. I'm still looking for the position where I need to be. So for right now, where I feel like I need to be is right here in front of a camera talking to you all. It would be great if it earned me a few pennies so I could feed myself. But be that as it may, this is where I feel like I need to be. So until that changes, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be doing videos and producing content, and hopefully it is something that's going to resonate with somebody, because that is my why. I've talked about on the channel discovering what is your why, and my why for doing this, even though it is typically a one-sided conversation because I don't get a lot of comments, I don't get a lot of interaction on the videos, at least at this point. When this video goes live, I haven't been getting a whole lot of engagement from my viewers, and I hope that changes because I really want to have open conversations with the people who watch the videos. I want to know that what I'm doing is giving you something. No, you're not my student. we have not entered into that kind of construct. You're not my student, but you are at the same time. Just like I'm not your student, but I am, because I do learn from and with my students. So that is pretty much my video for today, my vlog, whatever. My midweek chat with you guys is all about this imposter syndrome and some ways to shut up your inner mean person, whether it's girl, boy, bunny, whatever, your inner mean person. Um, because you are a phenomenal individual, my beautiful friend. And as I have said before, if people can hate for no reason, I can love for no reason, and I love you. I know the gods love you. So own how awesome you are. Okay? And I will see you on the next one. Until then, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.